Welcome to Investing in Paradise.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're really focusing in on one specific location, Cap Cana in the Dominican Republic. You've shared a stack of material with us, articles, reports, all sorts of notes, and they all seem to be pointing towards Cap Cana being, well, pretty significant for 2025. They talk about a significant boom, major international attention, and well, what they're calling substantial potential, especially this coming year. So our mission here isn't just to skim this stuff. We're going to really comb through it, pull out the crucial insights, and, build a solid understanding of why Cap Cana is getting this spotlight now, what's driving it, and maybe most importantly, what could all this mean for you?
That's right. And the information we have, it's not just vague observations. It lays out a case, really built on tangible data, things happening on the ground right now. The sources seem to suggest that 2025 is this moment where a lot of factors are coming together, creating maybe a unique window. So yeah, we'll dissect that piece by piece, sticking strictly to what's in the material.
All right, let's jump in. The logical place to start seems to be the market itself. The sources kick off with this phrase, significant boom. What kind of growth are we actually talking about here, according to these materials?
Yeah, they don't really ease into it. The sources are pretty direct, describing the market as being in a significant boom.
Yeah.
They make it clear this isn't just, normal ups and downs, it's faster growth. And to back that up, they cite a pretty well-known source, International Living. According to their latest ranking for 2025, Cap Cana is listed as the #2 best place globally for real estate investment.
Hold on a second. Second best globally. That's a huge statement. I mean, think of all the places in the world. What are the sources saying justifies that kind of ranking? What numbers are they giving us?
Exactly. It definitely makes you stop and think. And they do provide some specifics to support it, mostly around property appreciation. The material states that over the last 5 years, properties in Cap Cana have shown this really consistent, strong upward trend. The average annual appreciation, 15%, 1 to 5.
15% average
Yeah.
annual for 5 years straight.
Yeah, 15% per year on average. And the sources stress this wasn't just a one-off good year. They call it a robust and consistent growth rate. Maintaining that over 5 years, well, that suggests real strength in the market, according to this information. It gives weight to that significant boom description.
Okay, 15% average annual appreciation, 5 years running, plus a #2 global investment ranking. Those are definitely attention-grabbing numbers. So what does this actually mean for someone listening? Someone may be thinking about Cap Cana moving there, getting a vacation place, or maybe an investment property. Why are the sources framing 2025 specifically as this potential sweet spot?
Right, the sources basically draw a direct line from those numbers to this idea of timing. They argue that for different kinds of buyers, whether you're looking for a permanent move, a second home, or a rental investment, getting into the market in 2025 puts you in what they call a sweet spot. And the way they define that sweet spot is, well, it's a point where the market's already shown its stability, its desirability. You see that in the appreciation, the ranking. The basics are solid. But, and this seems crucial to their argument, they believe there's still significant upside potential left.
Okay, so it's not too early, the value is established, but it's also not too late, there's still room to grow.
That's the idea presented. The sources suggest the market isn't at its peak yet. The things driving the growth are expected to keep pushing values up. They explicitly say the market is poised for continued strong appreciation, unquote. And they mention that, quote, savvy investors from around the world are noticing this and getting in. Interestingly, they also point to specific groups showing interest right now. European clients looking for tax relief. We can talk more about that. And North American buyers who are maybe searching for a lifestyle that's more open and tolerant, or maybe a lower cost of living, or simply, great weather all year.
So different groups coming in for different reasons, all adding to the demand.
Seems to be the case presented. This mix of international interest is framed as a key driver. And the underlying message, or maybe caution in the material, is that waiting too long could mean missing out on some of the best returns. So according to these sources, 2025 is positioned as this optimal time to balance that proven stability with the potential for future growth. It's about getting in during that growth phase after the value has been established.
Got it. So, strong past performance, high expectations for the future, specific international interest. But numbers are just one part of the story. What's actually happening there? What tangible things like developments, infrastructure, what are the sources saying is physically fueling this growth and attracting all this attention?
Yeah, that's the next logical step, and the sources definitely dig into this. The market buzz isn't just abstract. It's tied to well, a lot of investment and building activity. The material really emphasizes that Cap Cana is actively investing in its future, and they call it a big future. One major highlight they flagged for 2025 is the planned opening of the St. Regis Cap Cana Hotel.
St. Regis, okay. That's obviously a high-end brand.
Exactly. And the sources don't just list it as another hotel. They call it a beacon of ultra-luxury. The thinking presented is that bringing in a top-tier global brand like St. Regis, well, it elevates the entire destination. It's not just about hotel rooms. It's about attracting a certain kind of visitor and resident high-caliber individuals, as they put it. The idea is that a St. Regis signals a level of quality and service that appeals to, very wealthy people, whether they're tourists or potential buyers. And their presence, according to the material, then boosts the overall prestige and value of properties across Cap Cana. It reinforces that luxury image.
Interesting. So one big luxury hotel opening can actually have that kind of ripple effect on the whole area's value and perception.
That's precisely the connection the sources make. It acts like an anchor, a validator, and a magnet. But look, it's definitely not the only thing happening. Not by a long shot. The sources detailed a pretty significant pipeline of residential projects too. They say there are over 15 new real estate projects either being built right now or just about to launch.
Wow, over 15 new projects. That sounds like a lot of construction, a lot of developer confidence.
It certainly suggests that, yes. And it means a big injection of new homes, new options coming onto the market to meet that demand we were talking about.
And what kinds of properties are we seeing in these new projects? Is it all just luxury villas, or is there some variety?
The sources make a point of highlighting the variety. They mention everything from sleek, modern apartments, maybe for people who want convenience, views, something easy to manage, all the way up to expansive pre-construction luxury villas. And with those villas, they mentioned the possibility of custom design opportunities, so catering to buyers who want something bigger, more private, and really tailored to them. This range, covering, as they say, every taste and investment goal, is presented as a strength. It means the new supply can hopefully match the different needs of those international buyers.
Okay, so lots of new homes being built, from apartments to custom villas, but you also mentioned massive infrastructure investment, billions, I think you said. That sounds like the real foundation for all this growth and that lifestyle promise. What exactly are we talking about with infrastructure?
This is where the sources really paint the picture of Cap Cana as something more than just a resort area. They use terms like meticulously designed, future-proof city-state, and self-contained environment. And the billions invested in infrastructure are what makes that possible, according to the material. They give concrete examples, things like more than 15 kilometers of new paved roads, which is important for getting around inside what's actually a very large area. They also highlight fiber optic networks for lightning-fast internet.
Right, which is non-negotiable these days for almost everyone.
Absolutely. Essential for remote work, communication, streaming, smart homes, all the things you expect in a modern luxury setting. And beyond that, they specifically mention state-of-the-art water and wastewater management systems.
Okay, maybe not the most glamorous topic, water systems, but having that done right, especially in a place like the Caribbean, that says a lot about the planning, doesn't it?
It really does. And the sources stress this. They call this level of utility investment crucial for sustainable, high-quality living. They actually emphasize that Cap Cana is designed to be self-sustaining. It mentions it generates its own essential services like water. It seems to imply it provides its own power and manages its own waste, too. This self-sufficiency is a big deal. It means residents aren't solely dependent on outside municipal systems, which, let's face it, can sometimes be unreliable in different parts of the world.
So it's like his own little city in terms of basic services.
That's the picture painted. And they also mention a focus on sustainable practices and solar power capacity, linking it to preserving the natural beauty of the area for the long run. So it's this combination, robust, modern infrastructure, plus this focus on self-sufficiency and sustainability that the sources present as the bedrock. It's what allows Cap Cana to function as this planned community and deliver on that high-quality lifestyle promise. It's a solid foundation.
Yeah.
And this infrastructure, it's not just pipes and wires. It also includes things the sources mention, like a world-class sports city, the Los Establos Equestrian Center, and that huge Caribbean's largest inland marina. Those are physical infrastructure too, enabling specific parts of the lifestyle.
Okay, that makes sense. Growth fueled by big investments in luxury properties and the fundamental systems supporting them, creating this self-contained modern feel. Now, thinking practically, if someone's considering this, whether investing or living there, How easy is it actually get to Cap Cana? What do the sources say about accessibility?
Connectivity is presented as a major plus, yeah. A really key piece of the puzzle for attracting global interest. The sources point out its location. Just 10 minutes from the Punta Cana International Airport, or PUJ.
10 minutes, that's incredibly close.
It is a huge convenience factor, and PUJ itself is described as one of the best connected airports in the entire Caribbean.
Okay, another big claim, best connected. What does that mean in practical terms, like flight options?
Well, the sources explain it means PUJ has this vast network of direct flights. And crucially, these are direct flights from major cities across North America, Europe, and South America. So you're not having to make multiple connections, fly into the capital and then take another smaller flight. You fly direct from many big international hubs, land at PUJ, and you're practically in Cap Cana minutes later.
Right, avoiding those extra hops makes a big difference in travel time and hassle. How does that easy access specifically benefit someone thinking about Cap Cana?
The sources link it to a few key things. For personal use, obviously, it makes traveling back to visit family much simpler. Or if you need to travel for business, it's easier. And importantly, if you live somewhere desirable, you want it to be easy for friends and family come to visit you in paradise, right? Less travel stress makes those visits more likely and enjoyable. The sources also mentioned the sheer volume at PUJ in 2024. It handled over 11 million tourists.
11 million, wow.
Yeah, and they framed this number as proof of the airport's efficiency and the constant flow of people coming into the area. Now, for an investor, this high connectivity and tourist volume is really important. It translates into a potential steady stream of renters for your property, especially if it's aimed at the vacation market. The strong tourism, made easy by the airport, provides that demand. So the overall benefit, as the material sums it up, is less stress and more time enjoying your new life, or for investors, more confidence in the rental potential because people can actually get there easily. And, this connectivity must also be key for Cap Cana hosting all those big international events the sources mentioned, the football tournament, the Ironman, the music awards, golf, polo. Getting participants and fans there directly is crucial.
Okay, so getting there sounds remarkably straightforward, which helps both lifestyle and investment. That leads us right into the experience of actually being there, the day-to-day. What's the lifestyle like, according to the sources? They use this phrase, the ultimate integrated luxury lifestyle. What's actually included in that?
Right, this is where the focus shifts from the how to the what it's like. The sources keep coming back to this idea of Cap Cana being a meticulously designed community, that self-contained environment again. And the core idea of the integrated luxury lifestyle seems to be that everything you could possibly want or need is within easy reach, right there. It's presented as a deliberate design philosophy, making life convenient, high quality, seamless by having amenities and services close at hand inside the community.
Okay, so what specific things make up this lifestyle? What amenities and attractions do the sources list?
They list quite a few. They start with the natural beauty, the pristine beaches. They specifically name Juanillo Beach and Api Beach. And they mention these are consistently ranked among the world's most beautiful. They describe them, powder soft sand, clear turquoise waters.
Yeah.
That the sources really paint a picture where this kind of stunning scenery isn't just nearby, it could be part of your daily view.
You can argue with world-class beaches on your doorstep fitting a luxury lifestyle description. What about activities? Sports?
Definitely. Golf is highlighted as a major draw. They talk about world-class golf at the iconic Punta Espada golf club. And they make sure to mention it was designed by the legendary Jack Nicklaus, that it's consistently ranked among the best in the Caribbean. The fact that it hosts international tournaments is also mentioned, which sort of underlines its status.
Okay, top-tier golf. What else?
The marine side is big too. They feature the Caribbean's largest inland marina. It's described as this lively place, a playground for yachting enthusiasts, or even just for people who enjoy the vibrant atmosphere of a marina. It's called a hub for nautical events and adventures. And being inland, that offers protected mooring, which is a big plus for boat owners.
Golf marina. What other kinds of amenities contribute to this integrated feel?
The sources list several other exceptional amenities. There's the Los Establos Equestrian Center, specifically for horse lovers, with facilities for riding, events, etc. For more adventurous types, there's Skate Park, which apparently offers thrilling adventures. They mention things like natural cenotes and zip lines. And for families, they name the El Dorado Water Park as a place for family fun right within Cap Cana. The sources also throw in the term world-class sports city, suggesting there are even more comprehensive sports facilities beyond just golf and horses.
That's a really wide range of recreation, relaxation, sports, adventure, family stuff, all seemingly inside the community gates. But what about the basics? Daily life stuff. Schools, groceries, doctors, safety. Are those integrated too?
Yes, the sources cover those essentials as part of the package. For education, they mention the Cap Cana Heritage School, offering an international standard of education right there, which is a huge convenience for families. For everyday needs, they say residents have access to major banks, high-end supermarkets, and modern medical clinics, all within Cap Cana. And underpinning all of this is security. The sources highlight robust 24/7 security throughout the entire community, stating this provides complete peace of mind. And interestingly, touching on that cost of living point perhaps, the sources also mention things like locally grown fruits and vegetables being incredibly affordable, eggs being so fresh they don't need refrigeration, and meat being clean, local, and healthy. That adds another dimension to the quality of life aspect.
So affordable fresh food, on top of everything else, the picture the sources are painting is a community where pretty much everything for a comfortable, active, convenient life is right there. World-class fun, nature, daily needs, security.
Exactly. And the benefit they explicitly point out is maximizing your time. It means less time commuting in traffic, less time worrying about logistics, driving outside for school runs or banking, and significantly more time just living. The sources really hammer this point. Every aspect of a luxurious, comfortable, and active life has been carefully considered and seamlessly integrated. It's about reducing friction, maximizing enjoyment. That seems to be the core of the integrated luxury lifestyle promise.
That whole lifestyle package sounds very appealing. But, moving or investing abroad, you also have to look at the bigger picture, the country itself. What do the sources tell us about the Dominican Republic's economy? And what about the legal side, especially incentives for foreigners?
Right, that's the final major piece the sources bring in the foundation of stability and how welcoming the environment is for outsiders. They describe the Dominican Republic's economy pretty positively, calling it one of the fastest growing economies in the entire Caribbean. And they say this growth is fueled by strong foreign investment, people bringing money in, and a booming tourism sector. It sounds like a positive feedback loop.
And why is the national economy's health so important if you're just focused on Cap Cana?
Well, the sources connected directly to your experience there. They explain that this national growth and stability, quote, directly translates to the security of your investment and the quality of your life here.
Yeah.
The idea is if you invest or move there, you're doing it in a country with a positive economic outlook. That provides confidence for the long term, beyond just the specific Cap Cana development.
Okay, that makes sense. And what about those government policies? You mentioned incentives earlier.
Yes, this is a key point. The sources state the Dominican government actively encourages foreign investment and relocation. They want foreigners to come. And they do this through highly attractive incentives. The big one mentioned is related to something called the CONFOTUR Law.
CONFOTUR Law. Okay, what does that do for a foreign buyer or resident based on the sources?
So the sources explain that this CONFOTUR Law provides significant tax exemptions. Specifically, they list exemptions on property transfers. That's the tax you usually pay when you buy, and exemptions on property taxes, the annual tax you pay on ownership. And crucially, these exemptions apply to properties in designated tourism development areas. And the material clearly states this includes many properties within Cap Cana.
Wow. So potentially no transfer tax when you buy and no annual property tax? For how long?
The sources don't specify the exact number of years in the snippets we have, but they frame it as a significant long-term benefit tied to the property being in one of these special zones. It implies substantial savings, both upfront at purchase and year after year.
That's a pretty powerful financial incentive.
Absolutely. The sources present it exactly that way. It's positioned as a way that your hard-earned money goes further, letting you maximize your investment. They literally say you can enjoy a higher quality of life without the burden of excessive taxation that you might find in other countries. It's framed as a clear financial plus, a result of deliberate government policy to attract people and capital to places like Cap Cana. And this directly connects back to those European buyers the sources mentioned earlier, the ones seeking tax relief.
Yeah.
This law seems to be a major draw for them.
Definitely a big draw. Okay, so financially attractive. What about fitting in, feeling at home? Is it easy for foreigners? What do the sources say about the community there?
They touch on that too, from a couple of angles. First, they mention there's already a growing international expat community in Cap Cana. It's described as a diverse, welcoming group. which suggests newcomers aren't starting from scratch. There's an existing network of people who've made the same move. This apparently makes integration incredibly seamless, helps with finding social connections, sharing tips, that sort of thing.
So you're not alone when you arrive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And second, they mentioned the broader Dominican culture itself, saying it's renowned for its warmth, hospitality, and vibrant energy. So the sources suggest you have this combination, a welcoming local culture plus an established, diverse expat community. The result, according to the material, is a place where you can genuinely feel at home, surrounded by a supportive community. And this welcoming vibe probably also ties into the appeal for those North American buyers looking for that more open, tolerant lifestyle the sources mentioned.
Okay, so the overall picture the sources present is a country with a strong, growing economy, plus government policies offering real tax breaks in places like Cap Cana, and a social scene that's easy to integrate into thanks to both expats and friendly locals. It sounds like a solid foundation.
That's exactly how it's framed. It's the combination of the economic health, the helpful legal and financial framework, and the welcoming social environment that provides the underlying strength for everything else happening in Cap Cana, the developments, the lifestyle. It all ties together.
Right. Okay, we've covered a lot here, pulling directly from these sources you shared. We started with that really strong market data, the significant boom, 15% average annual appreciation for 5 years, that #2 global investment ranking for 2025, driven by specific international buyers. Then we looked at the physical drivers, the billions sunk into infrastructure, making it a self-sustaining city-state with top-notch systems, a sports city, equestrian center, marina, plus over 15 new luxury projects coming online, and that big St. Regis opening next year. We talked about how easy it is to get there, that 10-minute airport proximity, the direct flights, and how that helps personal life, rental income, and even hosting major international events. We dove into the integrated luxury lifestyle, the amazing beaches, Nicholas Golf, the huge marina, adventure parks, water parks, but also the essentials like an international school, clinics, banks, security, and even affordable fresh food, all designed to give you more time to live. And finally, we looked at the foundation. The DR's growing economy, those very attractive CONFOTUR tax breaks, and the welcoming community making it easy to settle in. And the sources seem to argue that all these things coming together is what makes 2025 such a notable year for Cap Cana.
That really sums up the key pillars the sources construct. And I think what's striking, reading through this material, isn't just one single benefit, but how it's all presented as interconnected, designed to work together. The infrastructure enables a lifestyle. That lifestyle and easy access attract people, which drives the market. And the stable economy and tax incentives make it a secure and smart place to invest, relocate. It's this synergy market momentum, massive development, global connectivity, that integrated lifestyle, and the supportive national environment with real incentives that seems to be the core message about Cap Cana's unique proposition for 2025 based on these sources. Understanding how they all link up is key to grasping the potential they're highlighting.
Which brings us to our final thought, really, for you, the listener. Given everything we've unpacked from these sources, this picture of a place being rapidly, intentionally built as a self-contained city, packed with world-class amenities, super easy to reach from anywhere, and backed by a supportive economy with significant tax advantages. What possibilities does a place like Cap Cana, as it's described for 2025, unlock for your own plans? Maybe you're looking for a specific kind of lifestyle change. Or maybe you're focused on strategic investment growth. Or perhaps you just value a place engineered for ease, luxury, and security. How does this particular combination of factors resonate with what you're looking for? It's worth thinking about how these pieces, working together, might fit into the bigger global puzzle of opportunities available right now.
Yeah, a place that seems to put in the foundational work is actively building its next phase and is really designed around delivering a specific kind of seamless, high-quality experience, all supported by a welcoming environment and some clear financial perks.
Exactly. Definitely something to mull over as you look ahead. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into Cap Cana, based entirely on the sources provided.
Thanks for listening. We hope this detailed look, sticking just to the material, has given you some valuable insights to consider.
We'll see you on the next deep dive.
Thank you for tuning into Investing in Paradise. If you found this episode valuable, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with anyone dreaming of their own slice of paradise.